Okay, so Bear Mountain residents, I want to talk about the gas line that I'm proposing we run up Bear Mountain Drive. Now, we're pretty much all on propane, except a couple houses that are electric, of course, and wood. But propane, the single only advantage to propane that I could possibly think of is shoppability, and we can choose who we use. Of course, AmeriGas is the most expensive one, but we've got Polar Gas, Hygiene, Independence Gas, and a few other companies that we can shop around for propane, and they're forced to compete. But I paid last month $2.40 a gallon for my propane, and a little fed up with that. Natural gas obviously is about a tenth of the cost of propane. So I think pretty much everybody knows that. I think pretty much everybody that has propane would be on board with the natural gas line. Now, the natural gas line stops at Chris Drive as you're coming up Bear Mountain Drive. As you make that first tight corner at Chris Drive, you'll see a yellow flat post. It's bright yellow. I wish I could post a picture of it on this video, but I'm not that savvy. But that yellow flat post, it says natural gas, and that is the end of the gas line right there. So as you go up Bear Mountain Drive, our house is the black house in the middle of the meadow. And what I would propose right now is to run that gas line to our house. Sounds selfish, but there are about 26 houses between Chris Drive, where that natural gas line is, up to our house, and this includes Sunset and Hawks. Now, I don't know, Sunset and Hawks might be difficult, but anyhow, so those 26 houses would all need to be on board for this project to work. A little bit of my background: I've been a real estate investor for 30 plus years, second generation. My father in the 70s was in real estate, and I'm in real estate now. But I've developed a lot of land. I've changed master plans, and I've run LIDs, water and sewer projects. So I've done these type of projects for years, and I think as a real estate agent, it's pretty much necessary to know how to develop land and building codes and everything. But a lot of people disagree with it. Anyhow, basically, I've done LIDs. Now, an LID is a local improvement district, and this is where you have 3 or more properties. Typically, it's vacant lots, but they can be improved lots with homes on them. And these properties will take a vote, and it's a 51% vote. And the county, if the vote passes with 51%, then the county will actually pay for the improvements. This would be central water and sewer, which we're all on wells, it doesn't apply, but central water and sewer, pave the road, gas line, electric line, and the county would actually pay for these projects to put into the properties, and then everybody pays back over the next years of their property taxes. This is called an LID. I've done a number of these. I've been ahead of a number of these. This is not something we can do. So it's a gas line. County will not do it with just a gas line. I think back in Independence, they all tried to do an LID on paving the road, and one person put the kibosh on that. But anyhow, so we're not going to be able to do an LID. But what I have come up with is basically I could create an escrow account. And this would be a bank account, probably at First Bank. And my first step that I've done, so I haven't done much yet, but my first step that I've done is I have applied for a commercial account for xcell. Now, that application was submitted a few days ago, and I should hear from a designer in the next couple weeks. And a designer will come out and look at the project from Chris Drive up to our house in the meadow. And I'm going to throw at them, of course, based on responses here, but I'm going to throw at xcell, what if we ran it all the way around Giant Gulch, Grouse Court, maybe even Independence, basically hit the whole neighborhood with natural gas. But I have put in the application for just to our house for now. And the reason being just to get the fire started with xcell. So once I talk to the designers, then we'll cross that bridge. I've had some other people contact me down High Drive, Mountain Park Road, even Edelweiss. And I think it's probably possible to do these homes as well, even though it kind of breaks up the project. It's not a continuous line. But I'll look into that. And that's something that we'd like to do. we all know that propane tanks are a hassle. It's expensive, they're unsightly, and a huge fire hazard. So ours is underground, but a lot of them sit on top of the ground. And once a fire gets to these things, they blow, and they're like bombs. So I think there's probably a lot of advantages in natural gas. Now, when I say escrow account, those 26 houses between the gas line and our house everybody would have to be on board. So I'm guessing, and it's a pretty educated guess, but I'm guessing about $100,000 to run the gas line to our house. And that would be divided by 26 homes. I'm not taking anything to do this project. I'm just going to pay my fee to get the gas line and then just head up the whole thing and get it done. I want natural gas. So everybody would have to be on board. Basically, I would collect that money. I think it's $5,000. And I'm padding that by 20%, so probably about $80,000 to run that gas line. Padding it by 20% for rock, has-built, different problems, obstacles that xcell could run into. That's my guesstimate. And I'm sure once they come up with a real estimate to run our gas line, they're probably going to pad it as well. So let's say $5,000 per household would be obligated to, or would be their part to put in for this gas line if they wanted a gas line to their house. All these 26 houses would have to take that $5,000 and I would put it in the escrow account. The escrow account would pay for the project. And if there's any funds left over once the project is done, I would divvy it up between those 26 houses. Now, obviously, if you go around Giant Gulch, Upper Bear Mountain, and Grouse Court, Independence, or add on any other homes, it gets more complicated. I'm willing to take that on. It's fine. So, but the bigger the project, hopefully the cheaper the project when it comes to xcell. Now, we've got some people with electric in their homes, and they're probably going to be against this because they don't see any advantage to it. Now, being in real estate for 30 plus years, I will tell you that natural gas, it increases the property value slightly. It increases the curb appeal immensely. Now, if you have an electric home, if you have a home that is heated using electric, and I know you've got a wood stove, I know you like to do all that, but your home is heated electric. And I'm going to base everything off of a 2,500 square foot home. Just to keep the numbers even. But so you've got this 2,500 square foot home on 3 acres, probably worth $900,000 with forced air or some kind of gas heat. Now with electric heat, you can knock off 10%. So if you've got this $900,000 home, you're probably worth about $810,000. So that $90,000 is well worth your investment with the natural gas and putting in either a forced air system or a hot water system, heat system once this natural gas gets there. The homes that I've listed in 30 years in the mountains that were electric heat really did suffer on the market. They were on the market a lot longer. A couple of the homes I've flipped a lot of homes. So, it's really not that difficult to change, put in a forced air or even a hot water heat system. A lot of the homes already have the infrastructure for it. I've done this countless times myself. To give you an example, the 2,500 square foot home, to put in a forced air system, and this would be in the attic. If you have an open attic, it's actually very simple. And the open attic systems that blow down are actually more efficient than a heat register that sits on the floor and blows up, because we all know heat rises. So if your heat registers sit in the ceiling, they blow down to the floor where you want the heat. But anyhow, 2,500 square foot home, about a 90,000 BTU high efficiency furnace is about $1,500 for the furnace itself. Ductwork, if you use the flex ducts, you're probably going to spend about $2,000 in materials for the system. The install is not that difficult. I know you can probably talk to a plumber and they'll tell you $30,000. It's not true. I've done countless systems like this. Those of you that know me, I built that house in the meadow from scratch. I built it all myself. It's all radiant heat, concrete floors. And that's about $100,000 value just in those concrete floors and radiant heat. And I've got maybe $10,000, $12,000 into that system because I installed it myself. Anyhow, you're going to increase your property values if you switch from electric to gas. And I know you like hauling firewood and everything. But, there's also going to be people that have electric that say, we're not going anywhere. We don't want our property value increased. And I totally understand. I've heard everything in the book. But yeah, I know you like chopping firewood, and I can pick out the houses that are probably not going to want to join us in this. But yeah, basically the project will stop at before that area. If there's somebody down on Independence that doesn't want natural gas, the project will stop before their house. And then, of course, obviously nobody beyond there will be supplied. So I guess if you look at Edelweiss and Down High Drive, it's probably going to be pretty much up to you and your neighbors if everybody wants to comply and get on with this, because we cannot do an LID and force everybody to increase their property taxes for this project. So we're gonna have to take it on for ourselves. So that's kind of the gist of it. But yeah, we're going to do an escrow account. I don't want to get an attorney involved because it just increases the cost. So if there's anybody in the neighborhood that is an attorney that would like to draw up an agreement, and I'd probably have an agreement between me and everybody in the neighborhood that this money in the escrow account is going to go towards the project of the gas line. And of course, everybody will get a credit back, and I'll keep very public numbers about how the project is going, what it costs, and how much is in the escrow account, and who's paid in the escrow account. I'll keep all of that very public, just to keep it open. So if there are any attorneys that want to take something like that on a volunteer basis, I'm volunteering to do this. I don't want anything to do this again. Now, this gas line will come up the road, and basically it'll supply each of the houses with a valve. It'll be one side of the road or the other. The only cost that individual homes would have over and above the main gas line is their laterals. Now, your laterals are your electric or your gas going from the road into your house. It's actually very simple with a gas line, and it's a 24-inch trench, about 4 inches wide. You can rent a trencher for about $150 from Home Depot and run that gas line from the road to your house. And the times that I have done this, please don't quote me on this, but the times that I have done this, about a 200-foot gas line from the road to the house, I dug the trench. And Black Hills Gas is a different gas company than xcell, but Black Hills Gas actually ran the gas line and installed the meter on the side of the house at no cost to me because I had dug the trench. Now, obviously, if we've got a lot of people involved, we could probably buy a trencher or rent a trencher, and I'm willing to do the trenching for $2 a linear foot, maybe, something like that. And it's going to be, I base that $2 a linear foot based on rock, obstacles, terrain, things like that. So yeah, we'd run the lateral from the road to your house, and that's basically your only cost. Now, a lot of people would be like, well, we've already got our fixtures. We've already got our propane furnace, range, fireplace, boiler, barbecue grill, water heater. With the exception of a few water heaters, every single one of your fixtures has a very simple orifice change. Now, you've got a furnace, let's base that 90,000 BTU high-efficiency furnace, has 4 orifices. And these are little brass fittings. And actually, if you buy a furnace new, you've probably got the high-altitude propane conversion, which you've done. I hope you kept the orifices to the natural gas. So basically, those orifices, it's a 10-millimeter end wrench. It takes about 10 minutes if you don't know what you're doing to change out those orifices. And pretty much every fixture, like I said, aside from some water heaters, will be convertible over to natural gas very simply. I think if you don't have these orifices, they're about $40 for the kit for most fixtures. Maybe some high-end ranges might charge more, but the orifices are actually, they're just little, about the size of a pen cap, and they got a little tiny hole in them. But they're very easy to change over your house from propane to natural gas is what I'm getting at there. There's really no changes as far as the gas lines within your home. It's actually very simple. So I think even if you hired a plumber to do all of this, you'd probably pay a couple, $300-$500 maybe to have the orifices changed out by a plumber. But So yeah, we want to run the gas line up the properties. Obviously the fire hazards, unsightly propane tanks, and the god awful costs that we're paying for propane, and that's only going to go up. So feel free to call me with any questions. My name is Paul Temaat. Last name is Temaat. My phone number is 303-638-9402. My email address is paultemaat@msn.com, paultemaat@msn.com. I'm in real estate, so I answer the phone all the time. Feel free to call me with any questions, and there's no dumb questions, and you can ask something I've spoke about on this video, ask me again. So I don't mind answering any questions and explaining thoroughly how this project will work. But yeah, probably the main obstacle is we need everybody to comply. So basically we're paying for the project to be put in, but if we've got enough people, and obviously the more the merrier. So call me with any questions, and I will be in touch, and I will let everybody know probably on Nextdoor about how the project is going as far as xcell, because we obviously need them on board too. So thank you for watching my video, and give me a call if you have any questions. 303-638-9402. Thank you.